Hello, guys and gals, me, Mutahar, and I've been watching this show now called The Sopranos, which is like all brand new for me. I missed out on it, and I'll be real with you. I can't believe I missed out on how great this show is. It's a show about the mafia and how, they do mob-related things. Now, there's one YouTuber that I associate with the mafia on this platform right here. That, my friends, is Marquise Brownlee. And I talked about this guy a week and a half ago. I say this guy, but he's pretty much a YouTube known quantity at this point. Yeah, he's been putting some companies sleeping with the fishes, okay? That's pretty much where he's going with it. Now, a Marquise Brownlee review can either have you in the land of milk or honey, or put your startup into serious fucking risk, apparently, these days. Now, Marquise Brownlee, I talked about him a week and a half ago when he made this one tech review that wouldn't leave my feeds for like 2-3 days straight, okay? He talked about this thing called the Humane AI Pin, which was this wearable product where you could just have this camera attached to you and like this little product that you could talk to, interface with, and it would just be like your little AI chat GPT bot on the go, okay? It would be your little friend on your shirt, okay? That's how it worked. Now, this product was laughed at, he made fun of it, because at the end of the day, it was actually a useless product. It could easily be replaced by Siri, Google Voice, whatever. A simple fucking basic Google search was faster than the time it took for this product to communicate back with its servers and give you a ChatGPT AI response. Now, for $700 and a subscription fee, yeah, of course people are gonna laugh at it, okay? Now, of course, Marquise makes a video where he talks about this thing called the Rabbit R1, and he titles it Barely Reviewable. Now, again, this is a product that I also have seen in my feed for the last couple days, in fact, even the week. It's actually a product that I have been following pretty closely myself. Unfortunately, I couldn't actually end up getting this product myself, even, putting down into it, because it's just one of those products that apparently has been ordered enough to the point where, according to Statista, the worldwide sales for this rabbit, apparently on the newest batch, have reached 50,000 something sales, okay? Now, the Rabbit R1, this is what it looks like, this bright orange little square, this half of a Game Boy SP, and this is a pocket companion powered by Rabbit operating system, okay? So to go down the rabbit hole here real quick, that's a term they use, not me, by the way. It's a $200 product, all right? No subscription whatsoever. Now, if I add to the bag and I show you how much it costs in Canadian Monopoly money, just by switching the old country there, that's a $279 Canadian product, okay? Now, it's got no subscription fee, but to give you an idea, $279 Canadian, that's a pretty penny. 200 USD is a pretty penny. So this is a pocket companion that you bring with you, and it gives you access to a large action model, a lamb, which is a little bit different, and it's the reason why I also want to make this video, because today we're kind of talking about the future, okay? The actual future that I want to see, all right? This is just not the route we want to be taking to get to said future, but we'll discuss why. So anyways, Marquise makes this video where he talks about it, and it is barely reviewable because a lot of this product is still, unfortunately, tied behind, again, the promises of what they'll update down the road. So if you actually look at what they have over here, you can see that, again, going all the way down, they've got the camera, which allows the device to look front, back, see the world around it, so you can send, images and videos and request the AI to look into things, right? And of course, if you look into what they said it can do, which is their functionality, by the way, they said that it can search, so do Google searches for you, which, any ChatGPT system could do. You could download the ChatGPT app right now on your phone and do that right here. In fact, if you want to not deal with ChatGPT as a chatbot with other servers and you want actual privacy, I'm going to show you something cool called ChatGPT for All, okay? GPT for All literally allows you to install this on Windows, Mac, or Linux and actually have your own local ChatGPT instance without any information being exchanged to Microsoft, Google, or any of the big tech companies, okay? If you care about privacy and you want to partake in ChatGPT, you can install this on your own hardware. Now, the reason why I'm also showing this to you guys is to, again, instruct you that this does require some strong systems. So obviously the model itself is a 3 to 8 gigabyte file, and it runs on consumer-grade local CPUs. These CPUs are far stronger than anything Rabbit R1 is going to be putting into its device, okay? So for $200, you get access to a device that is, by the way, running a MediaTek MT6 765 octa-core processor. It's not the most powerful of devices. It purely exists to be a front-end device for you to input commands to, and they send it off to a server, the cloud, where the actual stuff gets processed and sent back to the device. Now, according to them, you can ask it to listen to music, you can ride share with it, get food, generative AI, all of that extra BS. Now, according to Marquise's review, you can link this with stuff like Uber, DoorDash, Midjourney, and the thing is, what it does is kind of a glimpse into what the future can provide. Now, obviously, the problem is they have a lot of planned shit, like, for instance, ticketing, navigation, reservations, and then, of course, something known as a web teach mode. So you can teach the actual product how to use certain functionalities, all right, certain applications, certain websites, so on and so forth. Now, the thing about a lot of these products is I kind of feel for this company, okay? $200, that's still less of a gamble than what it costs the Humane AI Pin, but for people, $200 is still $200. And I think these companies kind of forget that many people just don't want to take stuff with them, okay? They don't want to carry stuff around with them anyways. But we'll get to that in a bit. I want to go over a bit of Marquise's review with you. Now, in this review where Marquise is talking about this Rabbit R1, and yes, that is apparently supposed to be more orange than what video cameras can capture, the takes that have come out from people talking about this, and when you look into like their bios, they're all about artificial intelligence. When Marquise said, if he said his initial videos were barely reviewable instead of posting and iterating, where would he be today? So yeah, the level of discourse that's being happened by like AI bros is comparing free, accessible YouTube videos to commercially available products right now that are requested money for, okay? $200, by the way. So again, what I want to get into is, again, getting people into buying these products anyways. Now look, for me, buying more things to put into my pocket or attach to me is not something I'm looking forward to. In fact, if anything, I wish I could lessen whatever I needed to carry. For instance, there are 3 things I take when I leave my house: car keys, my wallet, and my cell device, okay? That's it. Now, if I could, in any way, turn my phone key, my car fob, into my phone, I would, okay? I would, if I could, take my driver's license, because it's the only reason I carry my wallet with me anyways, and again, my vehicle insurance, my vehicle pink slip into my phone, one device itself, I'd be totally okay with that. I'd be fine. Imagine getting pulled over and a cop asks you, hey, where's your driver's license, pink slip, and registration? Instead of rummaging through your glove box, you whip out your phone, tap a button, show them your Apple Wallet, your Google Wallet, whatever, and you have all your stuff there. Adding extra things into my pocket is not something I'm looking forward to. So when I looked at something like the Rabbit R1, the problem with a device like this is instead of being an idiot who goes out in public carrying this orange fucking brick with you, this would have been a lot better had they released this as like a watch form factor, okay? Something where you could have a watch on you, you could tap a little button on the crown and say, hey, look at that thing I'm pointing at, maybe a little camera in the front, and say, hey, translate that for me, tell me what you're looking at, search this thing for me, blah, blah, blah. And then it would just return the answers right on your local device anyways, because all it would have to do is interact with the server to begin with. And that's all these devices are effectively doing. And one of the reasons why people are kind of talking about this even more so is because even the CEO for this company has basically been at the forefront of trying to get ahead of any possible negative attention. And if you thought Marquise's review was scathing, you have other users like Snazzy Labs and people that have had supposedly worse experiences. And you can see the CEO in this situation is actually trying to compare his product versus the Humane AI Pin. And again, the problem with these devices, the problem with it is literally what I said. The watch that he has on him, had that form factor been put towards the watch itself, and you could have just used it, because remember, they're just client boxes, would be a lot better if you just had it right there instead of carrying this extra device with you. If you're going to sell something like this, maybe have it like a smart clock or something that you have on a desk next to you anyways, that you interact with. So yeah, that's kind of been basically where the discourse for this device is. It's literally a product designed for people who live in an alternate universe where smartphones don't exist. Now, these products, while they're selling them for like $200 a pop, or in some cases $700 with a subscription fee, these things could easily be replaced by Apple, Google in one software update for their iPhones and Android devices. You know, imagine if Google implements an ability for them to do the exact same functionality Rabbit is doing, but freely integrated into Google devices. Anybody, whether they have the lowest end smartphone all the way to the highest end Android smartphone, are able to use that functionality. And then who's to say they wouldn't, bring that over to the Google app for iPhone? Or who's to say Apple wouldn't bring Siri extra functionality and say, hey Siri, can you book an Uber for me? And Siri goes into the application, books the Uber for you, and that's the future. Now, where the actual sympathy for me comes from is that what Rabbit is trying to do is actually bring the future, okay? So again, while companies like Apple are bringing generative AI and spending $1 billion buckaroonies per year to catch up with artificial AI, artificial AI, that's a weird, AI in general, what you gotta understand, and the most important part about it, what Rabbit is doing is using something known as an LAM. Now, when it comes to AI shit, LLMs are probably the most popular term out there. These are chatbots, large language models, shit like ChatGPT. What Rabbit is doing is something known as a large action model. And I wanted to talk about this a little bit because this is actually the future, okay? So a good example is, if you ever played the game Mass Effect 2, you probably know of a character known as Edie. Edie is basically a ship artificial intelligence that works on the Normandy. The characters in the game interact with Edie to do stuff on the ship. So for instance, if you want Edie to change autopiloting things, you talk to the ship and it just does it all for you. Basically, it is a large action model. It's able to interface with things and act as if a human, basically take human speech and convert it to actual action. So what Rabbit is doing with the LAM model is basically creating a system where you can ask a piece of software to book an Uber for you, get food for you, do a Google search, interact with an application. And in theory, it's going to talk to that application and convert what you say into actual usable, actions, which I think is really cool. I think it's a way to the future. But I think the actual form factor these companies are selling these products on is a bit of a joke, all right? People are going to laugh at this product because, yes, the Rabbit R1 is a useless piece of product, but the thing that it's trying to achieve is actually not useless. It's so weird when I discuss it like that, right? Like, you would think that people would line up for something like this, but paying $200 for something that can easily be replaced by a software update, or even dealing with functionality that is achieved today by simpler stuff on smartphones, is what I'm kind of talking about, right? Is where I'm kind of leading the situation into. It's not Marquise Brownlee that's killing these companies or destroying these products. He's just speaking about it from a logical sense, all right? Most people, and money isn't exactly bountiful these days, most people are not willing to spend $200 to buy a little orange square and have it serve as a personal digital assistant, when in reality, smartphones already can do what this device does at a fraction of the cost in a much more intuitive and easy to access way out there. I said when I covered the Humane AI Pin that most people using it probably would be older individuals, people with disabilities, but again, the future of this device is cool. Imagine a future where you could teach this device to do basic shit for you on a TV, on a computer, on a gaming console, or whatever, and it would actually translate what you say into real action. The thing is, the Rabbit AI, the Rabbit R1, is just not the way there. What it represents is something I want to see grow in the future. The product as it is not something that I could ever recommend to anybody. And one of the things Marquise mentioned in his video, and one of the things I've been saying for years, and even in the gaming community, obviously, is unfinished products, okay? Selling anything for $200 and expecting people to think about the future is an impossible task, okay? Comparing it to just the idea of gaming. Halo Infinite was a game that dropped, actually better example, Payday 3. Payday 3 is a game that dropped almost half a year ago, I think, at this point. And when it dropped, it had a lot of promises, okay? It was going to replace the very successful Payday 2. To this day, Payday 3 has, maybe a couple hundred people playing on it right now. So they kind of dropped the ball months ago by promising things, but achieving very little on release date. So here's the thing. If, let's say, a year from now, Payday 3 becomes an amazing game, well, you still had that year in between where you kind of ask people to take a gamble, and you've already had such a bad stink towards your product. So if a year later you create an absolute amazing product, and if Rabbit makes that amazing, beautiful web teach mode and it brings more functionality, will people be around to stick with this product? Or will, by the time Rabbit catches up, Apple will already be there and Google will already be there, or other products that are more open, more, I guess, economically feasible, be there and provide a better product, okay? Who's to say somebody doesn't just develop an application for their phone that somebody downloads for free, maybe pays a subscription of like $5 a month to, and gets access to roughly the same feature set? That's what I'm kind of bringing up over here. And that's one of the weird things about looking into these AI devices and these AI tech bros out there. It's like, it feels like if you're a VC investor, like if you're like a big investment company, it sounds like a great thing and you'll throw $10 million, 20, 30, whatever money at Rabbit. But as a consumer, you kind of think to yourself, what the fuck is the point of having this button that, again, doesn't do a whole heck of a lot more than my smartphone will? Is booking Ubers and ordering DoorDash and playing music, which already can be done with pretty much any personal digital assistant anyways, worth the cost of admission? I'll leave that for the audience to decide. It's just been something brewing in my head, and I wanted to really talk about it. But yeah, this is me, Mutahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like if you dislike it, I am out.